I wish I knew these street photography tips sooner. In this video, I'm going to share 5 essential street photography tips that will improve your shots instantly. And stick around until the end, there's going to be a bonus 6th tip that some photographers overlook. But once you start using it, it will help you predict great shots before they happen. Let's break them down. If you're out shooting on a day with intermittent clouds, or hopefully with a clear blue sky, make a beeline to where the light is falling. Even if you don't have a subject yet, getting into position gives you a head start. When the light hits, you'll have the chance to work a composition into it rather than scrambling at the last second. So why is light your best tool on the streets? Moving clouds create shifting highlights and shadows, giving your scene instant contrast and depth. Midday and afternoon light hitting the streets, your subjects or buildings will create punchy, high contrast shots. This is how to make the most of it. Be proactive, move towards areas and subjects where light is breaking through, and either capture a shot or simply compose your shot and wait for the right subject to enter the frame. Watch how light interacts with your surroundings, whether it's harsh or soft. Light hitting the pavement or buildings can transform your composition and create awesome highlights and shadows. And finally, you need to be constantly on the ball and work fast. The clouds shift, shadows move, and good light, mostly where I live, can disappear quickly. So react before it's gone. So when the light appears, don't hesitate. Get to it, and then work your composition into the scene. I used to think settings were a big deal in street photography, but once I started using auto ISO with a minimum shutter speed, I realized they didn't matter as much as I thought. The shift in mindset was, settings still play a role, but they don't need constant attention. With auto ISO handling exposure, you can focus on what really matters: timing and composition. By using auto ISO with a minimum shutter speed, you'll stop second guessing whether you have the right settings and just shoot. These are the settings that I use, so you can dial them in if you want. Aperture priority with auto ISO because it makes shooting a breeze. For me, during the daytime, it's ISO 100 to 3200 with a minimum shutter speed of 1/250th of a second. I shoot at varying apertures from around f4.5 to f11, and I adjust exposure compensation as needed. At night, I always shoot at f2.8. I've got a video that I will link up above right now that will show you why f2.8 is the aperture to go for at nighttime, and the auto ISO range is 800 to 6400 with a minimum shutter speed of approximately 1/100 seconds. Once I let go of thinking about settings, I started capturing real, unrepeatable moments. And I guarantee if you choose auto ISO, capturing moments will become a whole lot easier for you too. Quick favour, if you're enjoying this and you're already getting something out of it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. It helps me more than you know, and I'd love to have you along for more street photography discussions. Also, if you sign up for my new email newsletter, I regularly put promotions on my store, and for the next couple of weeks, you'll get 10% off my presets. The link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it. Don't just take one shot and move on. Over time, you'll realize that some of your best shots will happen not always on the first try, but on the second, third, or even the fifth click of the shutter. Why does this work? Because street photography is unpredictable. The best moment might just happen right after you've taken the first shot. Also, subjects change, expressions shift, and compositions evolve. Giving yourself more time increases your chances of capturing something better. Of course, the first shot can be the best one. Therefore, multiple shots give you multiple choices. So how do you make the most of it? Experiment with slight adjustments, shift left or right, take a step forward, lower your angle. Small changes make a big difference. And stay in the moment. Instead of snapping and moving on, give yourself time to let the scene unfold. The best shot isn't always the first. Sometimes it's the one you almost didn't take. Sticking to one focal length is great for consistency, but experimenting with different focal lengths can completely change how you see and compose shots. Wide angles, 28mm to 40mm, pull in more of the environment, making your images feel immersive and cinematic, while longer focal lengths, 50mm to approximately 71mm, help isolate subjects and create a more intimate mood, which is great if you're nervous about getting too close to your subjects. On my 28mm Ricoh GR3, I use crop modes 35mm and 50mm, and on my 40mm GR3X, I switch between 50mm and 71mm. This lets me experiment with different perspectives without extra gear. So how do you get the most out of different focal lengths? Capture cinematic environment by using a wide lens to pull in more of the scene, emphasizing interesting angles and a greater sense of scale. With a longer focal length, you can take a step back and at the same time get closer to your subjects. Over time, you might find that one focal length consistently gives you results that you love, helping define your style. When I started street photography, I'd walk around aimlessly, snapping random photos. And my photos, some of them were good, some were not, but they were all random. Then I learned that limitations fuel creativity. Try one of these next time you go out. Limit yourself to one colour. Pick a single colour and make it the focus of your shots, whether it's blue, yellow, or red, which is what I've gone with here. Train your eye to spot the colour in clothing, signs, cars, anything that fits. This challenge helps you refine your observation skills and adds a cohesive look to your images. Give yourself a time limit. Go out and time yourself for like 1 hour to see if you can capture as many interesting images as possible. I did a full video on this. The link is above right now. I found out that having a set time frame pushes you to be more decisive. It sharpens your instincts and stops you from overanalyzing every single shot. And finally, go out with one theme in mind. Focus on a specific subject, like couples or people on their phones. Choose something common, but often overlooked, and make it the unifying thread in your shots. This exercise trains you to anticipate moments and recognize reoccurring patterns in everyday life. When you force yourself to see differently, you start creating intentionally. But there's one more thing that photographers overlook, something that gives you a huge advantage in street photography. I found that it helps you anticipate moments before they even happen. The more familiar you are with an area, the better your shots will be. When you know how the light shifts and the flow of people, you stop reacting and start anticipating, giving you an edge in capturing great moments. Returning to the same location lets you recognize the best light, spot recurring subjects, and uncover details that others might overlook. For example, I've shot in Brighton so many times that I now know on which side of the road the light will be at different times of the day. And because I've lived here, I know exactly what kind of characters you will find on the streets. So how do you make the most of it? Learn the light, visit at different times of the day to see how the light transforms the streets. Remember specific locations. Noting how locals work and live on a regular basis in a space helps you anticipate moments. And finally, go back often. Familiarity brings fresh perspectives, which helps make your shots more intentional and creative. So which of these tips are you going to try first? Please let me know down below. Here's a challenge for you. Pick a town or city with 3 distinct locations and see which location you get the best shots at. Take a look at this video here to see how I did it. Until we meet again, go forth and create.